Good morning and welcome to Today in the News here on Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adeomi. Let's get started first with the Vanguard newspaper. As a major headline on the Vanguard newspaper, it says 2027 options before the North faces tough choice over Tinubu, Jonathan Atiku, Obi, Amechi. You can find the story on page 10 of the Vanguard newspaper. Top banner says federal government urged to suspend chairman Uniport Governing Council over allegations of corruption. 2027, Jonathan ready to run again. Close ally confirms. Meets IBB. Consults South stakeholders in Port Harcourt. PDP intensifies efforts to woo in. Many abandoned estates in Abuja owned by civil servants, says EFCC. You can find the story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Thieves shouldn't be rewarded with ministerial appointments. Emir Sanusi says. You can find the story on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Ghana Defense Environment Ministers sees others die in military helicopter crash. You can find the story on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. WAEC Parents Group wants papers cancelled. You can find the story on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Late Doyin Abiola to be buried in Lekki, family confirms as Tinubu governors Nipan NGE mourns. Federal government approves tax incentives for manufacturers using local raw materials. You'll find the story on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Away from the Vanguard, straight into the Punch newspaper. As a major headline on the front, it says foreign investors sell off 576 billion naira Nigerian stocks in 6 months. Outflows saw 85% year-on-year. Economists cite Trump-era policies shift towards treasury bills. Kabana says Nigeria-US advance high-level talks over visa restrictions. Pension battle. Police retirees reject federal government healthcare offer. And the lower banner says Sanwo-Olu pledges statewide infrastructure at Badagry roads unveiling. Tinubu consoles Ghana after copter crash kills two ministers and six others. Away from the punch, I look into the Nation newspaper. Major headline on the Nation says money laundering. EFCC launches probe into real estate. Agency secures interim for future of 15 estates. How public servants are involved. Top banner says two Ghanaian ministers, others killed in crashed helicopter. Omokri Lagos remains safest state in Nigeria. Ikeja Disco sinks into ownership crisis. IE rejects receivership. Away from the nation, straight into the Guardian newspaper. Major headline on the Guardian says First Lady's humanitarian donations eats 12.9 billion naira in 2 years. Find the story on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Top banner says JAM sets higher bar for under 16 candidates. Nigeria may split without restructuring before 2027, World warns. Ayinde risk ban over unruly behavior at Abuja Airport. You can find the story on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper. And lastly, on the Guardian, it says Tinubu, Nipan, NGE, NUJ, others mourn pay tribute to late doing Abiola. That's all we have on the front page of the newspapers this morning. Join us after the break for a quick analysis of some of our top stories. Welcome back if you're just joining us. This is Today in the News on Vanguard Live. My name is Ololade Adeomi. You're looking to a top story for today. It says 2027 options before the North. The North, as a political bloc, has a tough decision to make regarding who it will back in the 2027 presidential election, as no fewer than five politicians are on its radar for endorsement. The five leading politicians open to get the nod of mainstream North, including incumbent President Bola Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former President Goodluck Jonathan, former Anambra State Governor Mr. Peter Obi, and former Rivers State Governor Mr. Rotimi Anuchi. Although some Northerners are considered to be eyeing the Aso top seat, Key stakeholders contend that the Northerners succeeding President Tinubu will hurt the North-South power rotation principle and create instability in the polity. Northerners interested in the presidential seat in 2027 include former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and former presidential candidate Mr. Gbenga Olawepo Ashim. The likes of former Kano State Governor Senator Musa Kwakwanso and Bauchi State Governor Senator Bala Mohammed are potential aspirants. However, to maintain stability in the polity, Vanguard gathered that some northern stakeholders who are bent on stopping Tinubu are shopping for a good southern candidate who will serve a term and quit. This understanding, Vanguard gathered, is behind the push for former President Goodluck Jonathan, and the move is presenting tough nuts for the Northern Bloc to crack, as there is no unanimity yet on who to support among the four leading potential Southern candidates. For more details on this story, head over to www.vanguardngr.com and look into a second story for today. It says, mass failure in WAEC, parents group wants papers cancelled. Reactions have continued to trail the mass failure of candidates in this year's senior secondary school certificate examinations (SSCE), with parents and some groups calling for the cancellation of some of the papers, especially English language. Commentators on the development, especially parents, blame the mass failure on the lapses on the part of the West African Examinations Council (WAEC) regarding the time English language exam was written by the candidates. For instance, commentators on the platform of the Concerned Parents and Educators Network (CPE) called for the cancellation of the English language paper and an inquest into why some candidates wrote the paper at night. In a post on the CPE platform by Adegoke Bimpe Atoke, who wrote, Almighty WAEC has done it again. The pregnancy of a few months ago has finally been birthed. Mass failure in mathematics and English. 450 words essay written with phone torchlight at 10:30 p.m. under the rain, with candidates swatting mosquitoes. How did we arrive here? For more details into this story, head over to us www.vanguardngr.com. Let's end today's segment with the Mr. and Mrs. segment. Mrs. says, Hooray! Our women have done it again. First, the Falcons, then the Tigers made us proud and received $100,000 each. Which women team is next? Mr. answered, saying, Housewives, imagine you bringing $100,000 home. We call it a wrap on the show for today. Remember, you can follow us on all our social media platforms as seen on your screen and on our website at www.vanguardngr.com. My name is Onoladi Adeomi. Have a lovely day.